Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. Time for traffic court. Driver got a ticket for impeding traffic, and he has a P number. So this one's a little longer because he's got a witness. And of course, there's case law. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Be like Berkeley E 01258. This is People versus Bert Emmett Salinger. Is that you, Mr. Salinger?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Very well. And there's another Salinger in the array.
I do have a witness, Your Honor.
A witness. Very well. Mr. Salinger, you were present earlier today when the court explained the nature of an informal hearing. Is that true?
That is true, Your Honor.
So you also understood the court to instruct that you must select from one of three options to protect your rights, correct?
Correct. I would proceed to trial, Your Honor.
Very well. Officer?
Yes, sir.
Are you appearing as department rep today?
For the citation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's my citation.
Very well. Would the parties please raise their right hands? You both solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth.
I do, sir.
I do.
Thank you very much. And the officer has the burden of proof. He proceeds first.
Yes, sir. On March 8th at approximately 1300 hours, I was traveling eastbound 12 Mile when I came across a vehicle stopped in the roadway on 12 Mile at Griffith. I watched a passenger get out of the vehicle and go into a business establishment as a restaurant located at the corner of 12 and Griffith. At that time, the vehicle stayed and then eventually slowly pulled into a semi-parking spot where it was still impeding traffic. I got out, spoke with the driver. He told me that he was there just to pick up some food, at which point I collected his license and issued a citation. If it pleases the court, I can show my dash cam video of the interaction if that's
That would be
helpful.
just fine. You may share your screen.
Let me get you the correct, well, I have the dash or this is my body cam.
Okay. We're not live quite yet.
Yeah. Can you see my screen, sir?
I do not yet.
I do not.
There it is.
As you can see where a vehicle stops, sir, it's in the roadway, impeding traffic.
Which vehicle are we?
There's no
There it is. Okay.
I cannot go get some stuff from slopes.
Oh, so stopping in the traffic and waiting for everybody behind you, causing a traffic jam is no problem. I understand it's no problem for you, but other people have things to do, right?
I'm sorry.
Especially when there's a dozen parking spots right in front of you, you can pull up. May I have your license, please, sir? It's called impeding traffic, right? You'd also pull down onto Griffith, that wouldn't cause a traffic problem.
I'm sorry.
No, I saw you drop them off, I was directly behind you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Give me a quick second. At that point, I issued a citation, Your Honor, and
All right. Thank you. I want to get this right. So is that sergeant or officer?
officer, sir.
Officer. And the red vehicle, the red Ford vehicle behind the subject vehicle is,
Is a semi-marked unit, traffic unit with City of Berkeley. Yes, sir.
very well. And you had mentioned, did you witness any other vehicles have to navigate around what we
I
would
did, sir.
call vehicle one?
I did, sir. I was actually behind a secondary vehicle and I'm trying to locate the actual dash cam. I don't know why it's not popping up.
No worries. If you are comfortable procedurally doing it this way, you obviously have the right to rebuttal after Mr. Salinger's testimony. So if you are comfortable, we can move along to Mr. Salinger.
Absolutely, sir.
Very well. Mr. Salinger, what would you like the court to know?
Yes. Can I call my witness, Your Honor?
I would prefer that you present in the form of, and we are in an informal hearing.
Okay.
I would prefer that you make some form of a statement or include your testimony and your argument first.
That's fine, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, I had my son with me. He was in town from Alaska. My father-in-law had died. We were going to pick up medicine and carry out, and I dropped him off. You can see slows before there. I was pulling up into a parking spot. Um, I was moving along. I did not stop. I did not see any vehicles. I did not hear anyone honking at me. Um, the officer came up to me, who appeared to be quite agitated, told me all the places that I could park at. I did not have any great length of time when I stopped in front of Slows. My son just hopped out and got back in. He'll testify about that as well.
Mhm.
The statute does require that there be actual impeding of traffic. The court notes that there is another lane there. I'm in a parking area. This is legal parking. There's nothing saying no stopping, no standing, no parking in that area there. So I'm pulling up to park. The officer pulled behind me. No one I believe would have impeded traffic would have been the officer. It is the burden of proof to show that actual traffic was impeded rather than potential impediment. I don't believe they can do that. I think my actions were reasonable here, and I don't think it was appropriate for a ticket to be issued.
Very well. Thank you for your statement. And if you'd like to develop any testimony from the other Mr. Salinger, you are free
Yes.
to do so now.
Mr. Salinger, can you share with the court your recollection of that afternoon?
Yes, Your Honor. Do I need to be sworn in first?
I had thought that we all raised our right hands, but do you solemnly
did
swear
not,
the
Your Honor.
testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Please proceed.
Thank you. So on the 8th, we had just traveled from my grandfather's funeral. Unfortunately, my brother-in-law had fallen and broken his arm in 3 places. So we'd stopped to pick up medication for him and my mom, who was ill, and then food for, the whole funeral party before I went to go babysit my nieces. So my dad pulled up right in front of Slows. I know that I was ready to exit as soon as possible, given the time constraints. So the second we hit a stop, I exited the vehicle. That's what Officer Smith testified. He saw me exit, and that's essentially when he stopped the vehicle. My dad, as you can see in the video there, is about halfway into a parking spot. I imagine he would have completed parking there if the officer had not pulled him over. I was inside of Slows for maybe 2 minutes, however long it takes to pick up a carryout order and to fill up some sauces. When I came out, there were still no vehicles that were, honking, hitting their brakes, because it was a fully open lane immediately to the side. So when I came out, no vehicles were interrupted. When I exited, no vehicles were actually disrupted by traffic, by the stop there. Especially given that his vehicle at this point isn't even fully, looks like fully in the lane of travel there on the right-hand side.
Thank you. Eric Salinger, is there anything further you wish to add to your testimony?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. And Mr. Salinger, the elder, is there anything else you wish the court to know before the court turns to rebuttal testimony? That's you, Bert Salinger. Is he frozen? Mr. Salinger, can you hear the court?
Estelle is a Supreme Court case that requires actual showing that there was impeding rather than belief that there may have been. And the same with the Supreme Court People versus Lisinski. Okay. So they have to actually show that it affected the normal flow of traffic rather than the mere possibility. We don't see any vehicles being impeded in the dash cam video. I did not see any vehicles being impeded. Matter of fact, we can see a vehicle going in the other lane of traffic. I was in an appropriate lane of traffic for parking. And it's been a very short period of time. If the officer did not come up, I would have parked my vehicle.
Thank you very much. Can you please provide that citation to the court in full?
I'm sorry?
Can you please provide the citation you just
Sure.
gave
Okay.
to the court in full?
So People versus Estelle is 3 Miss Court app. Okay, issued in September 16, 2021.
It's a page number, so 3 Miss app.
Yes. It may have been an unpublished opinion. I'm not really sure. People versus
Okay.
Taylor number 356656, 2021 LL WL 4236291.
Okay. And
And then the other case is 983 Northwest 2nd 827.
do you have a Michigan site? Not a not a
I do
Northwest
not.
Reporter site.
If you want me to shepherdize that, I could, Your Honor.
Well, I'm not asking you to shepherdize it, sir. I'm asking for the standard citation that the administrative rules and the rules for drafting and the rules that are obeyed by appellate counsel always use, which is not to use regional reporters, but to use the actual state
If
citation.
the court
So-
wants me to put that in, I could probably Google that
so
and get.
Can you spell the last name on that? People versus?
Sure. Insurance, LUCYNSKI.
LUCYNSKI. Okay. And is there anything else you wish the court to know, Mr. Salinger?
Nothing else at this time, Your Honor.
Very well. Turning back to Officer Smith, rebuttal testimony, please.
Yes, Your Honor, I can't access the video, but I can pull up my body cam again and we can take a look at the parking infraction per se. Like I said, there was a vehicle behind him that had to drive around him. I can't prove that because I can't access my dash cam. But as far as the parking spot's concerned, there was not enough room for that vehicle to clear into a parking spot and clear traffic.
Thank you. And you, this looks like eastbound 12 Mile Road, correct?
Correct, sir.
And as you approach the vehicle, for how long, if you recall, did you observe the vehicle one being stationary as it's positioned?
The vehicle behind the infraction, sir?
No, the actual Salinger vehicle?
Okay, again, they pulled up directly adjacent to the business on 12 Mile, which is a corner business right at the corner there at 12 and Griffith. It paused long enough for a vehicle to stop, my vehicle to stop, and enough for his passenger to get out, walk into the business, and then eventually slowly pull forward into the somewhat parking spot.
Are the parking spots in that location, for lack of a better descriptor, curb cut parking spots? So require a bump over?
Correct, sir. So where his vehicle is placed is initially where the cutout starts to begin. You see a vehicle parked here that's in front of his, and it's inside the lane, as you can see, between the lane marker and there, however.
Very well.
If I can back up a little bit, you might be able to see, there it is, there's the curb. The curb here, and you can see the distance here. Okay, by this time I had already initiated my traffic stop. He was slowly pulling in. I don't know if he had saw me prior to him pulling in or not, but once that first vehicle had cleared, I initiated the stop.
Thank you. And per your recollection, you did witness at least one vehicle have to navigate around what we'll call vehicle one, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court is going to take about a 90-second recess. Please stand by. Thank you very much, gentlemen. The court is ready to make its findings.
Your Honor, if the court needs it, I do have the site for that case, the Michigan site.
We've already looked at it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is People versus Burt Emmett Salinger. To begin with, the court notes that the burden of proof in a civil case is a mere preponderance of the evidence that is characterized by academics as the featherweight test or quantified at 50.1%. Is it more likely than not, so to speak? The court secondly notes that it believes both parties are proceeding in good faith based upon their best recollections and perceptions of the events. And lastly, the court notes that it has absolutely zero idea what Burt Emmett Salinger's driving record looks like, The court judges these matters on the merits related to the date and time in question only. With all that said, the court notes that as adopted by reference under the Berkeley Code, Michigan Compile Law 257.676B, subparent 1 indicates that a person without authority shall not block, obstruct, impede, or otherwise interfere with the normal flow of vehicular, streetcar, or pedestrian traffic upon a public street or highway in this state by means of barricade, object, or device, or with his person. There are exceptions which apply to charitable organizations, civic organizations, et cetera, et cetera. Secondarily, the court would note that under People versus Lusinski, 509 Mich, 618, a 2022 case, a motorist cannot be cited for impeding traffic under the aforementioned MCL number unless the normal flow of traffic is actually disrupted. Based upon the testimony of the officer, based upon the fact that this may or may not have been a difficult day, as was testified to by both responding parties, Mr. Salinger and his witness, the court does believe that the burden has been met. There was clear testimony that at least one vehicle had to navigate around. I think what may be dispositive here is the fact that there's a curb cut and that the Salinger vehicle was outside of that curb cut. So that, together with the direct testimony that there was vehicles that had to do a workaround, means that the people have met their burden. So the court does find Mr. Salinger responsible. The fine in this matter is $175. That is payable through the pay portal on the court's website, or you can walk a cash check or charge into this court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 7 days. If Mr. Salinger, you wish to appeal this court's ruling, you may absolutely do so by posting a cash bond of $175 within 7. Matter gets placed upon the formal hearing docket, and at that time, the city would be represented by a city prosecutor. So $175 as a bond or a fine within 7 days. Gentlemen, that completes your hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.